Hi everyone, you're watching The Culture Cave. I'm Gabriella White. This is part 3 of the book review of Searching for the Dharma, Finding Salvation in Buddhist Pilgrimage in Time and Space. This book was published by the Lumbini International Research Institute, and it's a wonderful book. So I'm doing an extensive book review on this, and because there are so many valid points to mention as we explore what pilgrimage means. Now, in this part I'm going to talk a little bit more about the significant spiritual meaning behind each place in the four places of Buddha's life, the four significant places which encompass the stopping points on the Buddha's and Buddhist pilgrimage. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the meaning of pilgrimage and how this varies from person to person. And the main theme of this part is going to be Kashmir, which plays a very vital role in pilgrimage. So yeah, the meaning of pilgrimage varies from pilgrim to pilgrim because, of course, a pilgrimage can be a very personal journey to oneself, and a pilgrimage can hold a vast variety of meanings. Such as a religious belonging, for example, the different stages of life, social status, etc. It also depends on whether one embarks on a pilgrimage by oneself or in a larger group, and these all hold different dynamics to the experience itself. So the book compares, for example, a Tibetan traveller who is embarking on a journey to the Golden Temple, and then consider that with a Sikh journeying to Amritsar. So these are two very, very different journeys and two very different cultures behind those. So those are just two stark contrasts between pilgrims, and it gets us to really think about how many different kinds of pilgrims there are in the world. Coming back to the point about the four places of Buddha and Buddha's life, the place of birth is in Lumbini. Now this place signifies the merit of the preceding existences of the Buddha. The second place was the place of enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, which signifies the supernatural knowledge gained through enlightenment, so it's the supernatural aspect. Thirdly, the place of the first sermon in Sarnath signifies the comparison of teaching the Dharma. And the fourth place of the Parinirvana in Kusinagara signifies the permanence of the Dharma, which was discussed in part 2. Okay, so moving on to Kashmir, which is very, very interesting. Now, Kashmir is often referred to as paradise on earth, and it's not hard to see why. I'm cross-referencing another book here, but it's of course a key part of the Silk Road, which is a fascinating journey to explore. But here we have a picture of Kashmir and saffron. So you can see this is just one beautiful scene of the multifaceted Kashmir. And it's of course a reminder of the thriving trade as well. So the Silk Road is another story, but Kashmir and pilgrimage is a very, very significant point on this journey. So concerning the text of the Nilamata Purana, now this contains a dialogue between Gunanda I of Kashmir and the sage. Okay, so a person of great knowledge and wisdom. The sage was called Bradava, and it was followed by an account of the formation of the cosmos and of Kashmir. So there are beliefs that Kashmir was formed as part of the beauty of the cosmos, and that it was a direct reflection of that. And the figure Nila presented his teachings on the rites of pilgrimages to be performed by the human residents of Kashmir. Now this was a very a kind of obligatory task for the residents of Kashmir, and it was followed by an account of the Nagas and the Tirthas of the region. And the text leads itself to the foundation of the teachings from the Mahabharata for two reasons. The first is that it's for its overarching account of the significant past. And the second reason is that for its status as a work, it's to quote the Nilamata himself, that it's highly exhaustive and dear to the people like the full moon. So a very significant comparison there. So it's as important to the people as the elements of the cosmos itself. Now, the origin of the text was due to a Hindu revival in Kashmir. The idea of pilgrimage here acts as a role in a conditional residence in Kashmir, and hence acts as a spiritual prerequisite of continued residence. So pilgrimage was a part of societal life. It became a cultural norm, and there would be an enormous pressure on the resident to perform it. Now, the tendency to strategically position a given divine being, namely Vishnu, as the true recipient of Vedic sacrifices is well attested in other sources too, both within Kashmir, in the Vishnu Dharma Purana, and beyond, in the Bhagavad Gita and the Vishnu Purana. Nila specifically says, quote, if the instructions of Nila are not followed, then occur here floods, excess of rain, drought, famine, deaths, ultimately death of the king, and dreadful punishments for the king. The snow will fall to a great extent, so the instructions of Nila must be announced to the people again and again. Now, as we all know, Kashmir does get a lot of snowfall, so this snowfall would presumably act as some kind of ongoing reminder to the pilgrims that they, needed to embark on these journeys as residents of Kashmir. So very, very interesting connection to nature there as well, and nature's prerequisite, and using nature as a tool to remind the residents that they needed to keep going on these pilgrimages. Now, what do the teachings of Nila show us about pilgrimage is the key question here. It is a fully elaborated and distinctly global vision of the estates, the deities, the beings, and the regions of South Asian pre-modernity. This is made absolutely clear in the cosmically grand opening, with details of yugas, which indicate an age of time. And in Hinduism, yugas are mentioned as in the Mahabharata. So the words yuga and kalpa are used interchangeably to describe the cycle of creation and destruction. So this is made absolutely clear, this importance of the global vision in the cosmically grand opening, the incarnation of Vishnu in the form of a fish, and the sacrifice of Daksha, and more. So I'll see you in part 4 as we continue to review this beautiful book, Searching for the Dharma. Thank you for watching.